I'm Jane Copier, and you're listening to Happy in the Middle, a podcast for Christian women who want to make the second half of life the best half. This podcast is all about helping women to reignite their spark and step into their divine power in order to create deep and connected relationships and also find that fulfillment and satisfaction they crave. So, if you're ready to grow, join me and learn how you too can overcome guilt, resentment, disappointment, and enjoy the fruits of creating a life well lived. Let's go. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the podcast in episode number 49. Look at your spouse with fresh eyes. How are you doing, my friends? Can I just tell you about my weekend for a minute? I am seriously just pinching myself. Our son, I've told you before, our son works in film. He's a first assistant director, and his girlfriend is an actress. They actually met on the set filming a movie here in Utah. Well, a few months ago, they were in Kansas City together filming a movie for Hallmark. She is a actress for Hallmark, and she was chosen to star in this awesome new holiday movie with the Kansas City Chiefs. Hallmark is based in Kansas City, which is really fun. And then of course the Chiefs are there and they're the Super Bowl champs. And, so everybody is like Chiefs crazy. And of course, also Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, their whole romance has been in the news and the hype in the media. So they thought, how fun, why don't we do a fun romantic holiday movie involving the Chiefs and Hallmark? And so anyway, they chose Hunter, our son's girlfriend, Hunter King, to star in their movie. So my son and she both were out there in Kansas. He actually was an AD on the movie as well. So they got to work together and they filmed this movie. Well, for the opening game of the season at home, they had this big hoopla, largest tailgate party. I don't know if they were trying to set a record or whatever, but they had her come and do promos for the show and all of the tailgating things and just shoot with her co-star Tyler Haynes. I can't remember. Shoot, I'm forgetting his name. Nicest guy ever. But anyway, she and my son called and said, "Hey, come join us and be our guests for this event." And I'm telling you what, my mind is just blown because it was just so much fun. And it was just VIP treatment all the way. They were so good to us. They picked us up from our beautiful hotel in this lovely, lovely party van. I don't know, like a limousine bus thing, and, stocked with drinks and stuff. And we're with the Hallmark execs and a rep from the Chiefs who was taking care of us. And we went to the stadium. And then it was just so much fun. They put us back in, we got to go all the places where normal people like me don't ever get to go. And we got to watch Hunter do her thing. And she was just so amazing and so brilliant. And then, of course, the game was amazing. And we got to go visit the Founders Suite where the owners sit. It's like one booth above where Taylor Swift was. And I'm just telling you, like, it just blew my mind. They were so good to us, so generous, so good. And it was so much fun to be with Chris and Hunter. They are just so darling together. We love them so much, but it was just so amazing. And then, of course, the game was crazy good and it just was so much fun. And I just enjoyed the heck out of my husband. You guys, I'm telling you, coaching works. I get teary every time I think about how much I almost threw away. And I am so, so grateful to myself for doing this work. So today I have a fun message for you. It's something that really helped me. It's a tool that changed my life a lot. Back when I was working on fixing my marriage, this was one of the main things that made the greatest impact. And so I can't wait to share it with you. My vision, or shall I say my version of my husband that had come to be secured in my brain, had become skewed as I listened to the criticisms of my lower brain, as I saw my husband through that cloud of criticism. And try as I might, at times, there were times that I couldn't remember why I even chose him to be my partner. Raise your hand if this is you. Maybe you've experienced this too. But that all changed when I sort of removed those cataracts from my eyes, from the way I was looking at my marriage, and I saw him with fresh eyes. And today I'm going to help you do this with your partner too. This is something I'm just really passionate about because it can absolutely turn your story around. When we're in long term relationships, we can sometimes take each other for granted and really fall into that trap of focusing on the negative aspects of our partner. And it's just so important to take a fresh look, to peel back the layers of years of judgments and work on rekindling that appreciation and love in your marriage. So we're going to dive into that. But before we get started, I really want to remind you I have another free Ask Jane Anything call coming on the 23rd of September. We had one yesterday on Monday. I'm recording this on Tuesday. Monday the 9th, we held it, and it was just so good. If you've ever wished that you could have a life coach help you out a bit, now is your chance. This is your opportunity. You can send in your question about anything that's troubling you. There's honestly no topic too big or too small. Some of the questions were like one sentence and others were a couple of paragraphs. Send them all in and I will answer them live. So before you forget, save it in your calendar, Monday the 23rd, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and email me your questions at jane@janecopier.com. If you need the link to sign up, you can also send me and request that. Otherwise, you can find the link down in the show notes. But here's the fun thing too. Every person who submits a question is going to be entered into a drawing to win free tuition. It's a $395 value, free tuition for my new live course that's coming November 4th, Ending Codependency. And you guys, so many people don't know that they struggle with this. They're struggling in their relationship, but they have no idea that this is their issue. So if you are even curious to know if this is a problem for you, there is another link down in the show notes that you can take a little self-assessment and see, am I codependent? Is this a problem for me? Is this tripping me up in my relationship? But that course is going to be so, so good. It's 8 weeks live with me, weekly calls with me, training coming November 4th. And it's definitely a prize worth trying for. So make sure that you sign up and send in your question. Okay, let's talk about seeing your partner with fresh eyes. When I was a young mom, the movie Hook came out. Do you remember this movie with Robin Williams? Robin Williams plays the grown-up Peter Pan, and he can't quite remember his youth, right? He doesn't remember Neverland. Julia Roberts plays Tinkerbell. It's just a cute movie. My kids watched this over and over and over. They loved it so much. And anyway, there's this scene in the movie when Peter goes back to Neverland and he's an adult. So of course the Lost Boys don't believe he's really Peter Pan. They think he's this pasty old man. So they kind of attack him. And I can't honestly remember all the details, but at one point, one of the Lost Boys takes Peter's face in his hands and he sort of pulls his skin back, like gives him a little facelift with his hands. And as he looks closer into his eyes, he says, "Oh, there you are, Peter. It really is you. You really are Peter Pan." Well, I love this example because I think this happens in marriage sometimes. As we spend those years with someone and deal with daily annoyances and little things that drive us crazy, we begin to see our partner through a different lens. And we can't see the qualities that first attracted to us anymore. The new lens often filters out their positive traits and focuses on the negative ones. And it's just how our brains work because remember, they are constantly scanning for problems. So, in a way, the daily grind, the small annoyances can really cloud our vision, creating these little cataracts in our relationship, not helping us to be able to see our partner as they truly are. We're skewed, our vision is skewed. So it takes making a conscious effort to see your partner with fresh eyes. And doing this simple exercise can really reignite the love and admiration you feel for them. We have a really good friend. His name is Craig. And he described it to me this way a long time ago. His wife and I have been friends forever since we were little, and our husbands get along super well. So when we lived near them, we spent a lot of time together. We traveled together. Anyway, one day we were talking about first loves, and he made the comment that no matter what, you'll always have a place in your heart for that first love of yours, that person, right? Because we view them through our high school eyes, meaning the only reference we have for them is the one that we remember so well because everything was so fun and so fresh and so new. We don't have continued experience where they become annoying and awful. Of course there was the part where we broke up, but those first few feelings of love and infatuation are so strong that that's how we remember them. That's what's imprinted in the brain. And the vision, of course, didn't get clouded through the years of changing dirty diapers, struggling to pay the bills, dealing with, career or physical changes, all the things. And though I didn't really think about my first love this way, I could see this point, right? The first time for everything, meeting, your first date, your first kiss, all those things are so poignant when you're young because it's also fresh and new, and it makes a huge impact on you. So, just for a moment, think back to your first encounter with your spouse. What did you love about them? What did you find attractive about them? How did you feel when you were around them? And on the flip side, how did you feel when you weren't with them? Gosh, I remember missing my husband so much. Shortly after we started dating, he took a snowmobile trip to Yellowstone. He was a photographer and went to Yellowstone to shoot in the wintertime on a snowmobiling trip. And I missed him so much. I can still feel that longing for him to come home. He would call me at night after his adventures during the day, and I would just be like, oh, I miss this guy so much. But I love this exercise, and it's so great because most of us don't take the time to remember, and remembering can be so helpful. So I want you to imagine what it would be like to meet your spouse for the first time today. I do this often. As we were traveling this last weekend, it's so fun. I love watching other women notice my husband. He's a good looking guy. He's tall, blonde, blue eyes, football build. He's definitely a good looking guy. But I think that I forgot about him in many of those years as we were together. I think I forgot to look and notice and appreciate those things that I loved about him. But I love to look at him and wonder about his life as if he were a stranger. I love to wonder what other women find charming about him that I might be annoyed by, right? I wonder what it would be like to feel those muscly shoulders and kiss those yummy lips. I try to see him from the perspective of other women, and it helps me to remember all of those amazing traits that attracted me in the beginning. So I have this awesome picture that I took of him on our 30th anniversary trip. We were in Bar Harbor, Maine, and it's a profile that I took from the side of him. It's a profile picture of him when he didn't know that I was watching him. And it was just this beautiful fall day. And he was laughing with our friend Brian about something. I have no idea what, but I love this photo so much because it captures so many of the beautiful things that I love about him. I could see those lovely crinkles around his eyes that deepen when he smiles. And I could hear his big laugh that I love so much and reminds me of his fun sense of humor. And he was wearing this baseball cap and this baseball type shirt that showed off his broad shoulders. Ugh, I love this picture so much. But in that moment, taking that photo, I saw him with fresh eyes. And this moment of admiration really deepened my love and appreciation for him so much. It made me feel like the luckiest woman alive that he was mine. So, taking a step back and observing your partner can go so far in helping to renew those feelings of affection and connection. Marriage cataracts are a real thing. Years of dealing with those small annoyances and daily frustrations can really cloud our view of our partner. But luckily, they can be removed. My dad just had cataracts removed from both eyes, and he's so excited to see the leaves on the trees and the beautiful mountain range from the back windows of his house. Without the doctor telling him that he'd had those cataracts, he would have just figured that what he was seeing was reality and it was subpar. It didn't allow him to see the beautiful details of all of the world all around him. So if you aren't that excited about your spouse right now, you might have developed some cataracts when it comes to viewing him. The good news is that by acknowledging that you have them and that they've built up over time, that they're really there, that's the first step to working at consciously clearing them away. So if this is you, you can do this in 5 simple steps, and I'm going to walk you through. So first, taking time to watch your partner when they're not aware. Notice those little things that first attracted you to them. Observe them in public. Watch them in their element when they're using their talents, when they're glowing, right? We all have those places that light us up, those things that we were so attracted to in the beginning. Watch him in that element. I used to love to watch our husband coach our son's football teams. He was so good with the kids. They knew that he loved and cared about them. And that was so sexy to me. That was so attractive. So just stand back and observe and let yourself feel those warm and yummy observations. Okay, next, reflect on the early days of your relationship. Remember what your first impressions were. Those first interactions that really lit you up. Recall those specific memories or moments that made you fall deeply in love with them. And if you want to take it a step further, journal about those memories. There's something, you guys, about putting pen to paper that really reinforces those ideas in your brain. So write it all down. And then after you write it, go back and read it and then feel it again. Such a fun exercise. The third step then is to replace your annoyance with appreciation. Think about this for a moment. What do you take for granted? What have you forgotten to be grateful for? Perhaps you need to mentally reframe some of the situations you're facing as you age. For example, I shared with you how I love seeing those laugh lines on my husband's face. I choose to see them as a sign of shared joy rather than a sign that he's aging and turning into an old man, right? I could look at it either way, right? Do you feel the difference though when I choose to see these lines on his face as evidence of a joyful life that we've lived together, or I could look at them as like, oh, he's just getting so old and wrinkly. I mean, they feel so different. Those thoughts feel so different. Which one do you want to choose? And then the fourth step is now that you feel some appreciation for your spouse, it's time to express some gratitude to them. If you really want to move the needle, if you really want to create a better dynamic between the two of you, make it a daily exercise to express your gratitude and your appreciation to them. Simple little actions like writing a quick note, giving a compliment, sending a text to let them know you saw something that they did for you, thanking them. It means so, so much. Appreciation is the number one emotion that most adults want to feel. Have you been appreciating your spouse? I am sure that I forgot to do this so often over the years. And I tell my husband all the time now, right? What would I do without you? And this is true. I would be sitting in the dark because I don't change light bulbs. I'd have spiders surrounding me because I hate them. And he's the spider killer. I'd be sitting in a dark house surrounded by spiders if it weren't for him. But above and beyond that, right? Like those physical things that he does, I try to be very intentional about thanking him for the way that he contributes in our home. And this is not a tit for tat exercise. Give your gratitude without needing it in return. Seriously, just give and allow yourself to feel so good and so loving as you say those loving words. Allow yourself and him to feel that glow of that good gesture. And I promise it will come back to you. I promise you don't need him to say, oh, well, I appreciate you doing this too. Don't hold your breath after you give a compliment. Just allow it to sit, allow it to marinate for him. I promise it comes back. Okay. And then finally, step 5 is make seeing your spouse with fresh eyes a new habit. right? Our brains love black and white thinking. I talked about this in one of our previous episodes. So if you haven't listened, go back and find that one. I think it's the 1 to 10 scale and black and white thinking. I can't even remember what I titled it. I'll put a link down in the show notes though, but I recommend you go back and listen to that one. But what I mean by this is that our brain likes to categorize good and bad, handsome or ugly, total jerk or total angel. It likes things to be neatly defined, clearly defined, no gray area. But most of us humans are a mix, and so is your spouse. So if you have labeled him in your brain, work to deconstruct those labels and opinions. Seek to find evidence that there's more than what your brain is offering you. What is another story you can tell about him? And if you really want to form a new habit, make it a daily practice to check in with your spouse and share a few things that you love about them. Telling them what you're looking forward to with them, expressing your gratitude for something that they've done or for who they are. Get creative. I love hearing the words come out of my mouth when I tell my husband, "You are such a good man." That feels so good to me. I love saying those words to my husband. It's true. He is such a good man, and I love him so deeply. But I promise that the better view you have of your partner, the more they will work to become that version that you see. This is just how we are as humans. When people see the best in us, we have that innate desire to prove it true. It's easier when someone else sees it to believe that those good qualities exist in us, and then we work to magnify them. After a time of doing this with my husband, I was truly startled when he became more vocally loving of me. All of those words that I wanted to hear for so many years and I just felt deprived of, they just came spilling out of this man who doesn't say much, right? He's a man of action. That's how he shows his love. But once I started giving to him this way, he returned it to me. And his kind and loving words of admiration fueled me with fire to be the best partner in the world for him. It was so fun this weekend to be in Kansas City, and we went to they have a cute little Dutch flower market and farmers market and just restaurants and stuff in this little square. It was just a fun place to visit. But we were in this little boutique and I was admiring this chief's necklace. It just is like a kind of a gold chain and it has a little pendant on the bottom of it. And I was like, "Oh, that's so cute. That's my style." And before I know it, he's taking it off the rack, going over to the cashier and buying this necklace for me. You guys, this is not in his wheelhouse, really. This is not a man who likes to spend money. This is not a man who loves to buy jewelry, but he has grown to become this partner who is so anxious to please me because I have changed the way that I see him. I see him this way and I show him how I see him and I tell him how much I appreciate him. And in his brain has shifted to looking to find things to please me. It's just such a beautiful circle of appreciation and it feels so delicious. Do this work. Give this a try. Let me know how it goes for you. Send me a little email and tell me how this works for you. This is a tool that you can use over and over again, and it will never stop serving you and blessing you in your life. Okay, my friends, hope to see you all on my call on September 23rd. Get signed up for that Ask Jane webinar, and I will see you then. Have a great week, everyone. Hey, if you are ready to get unstuck and make your midlife amazing, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And I want to invite you to join my Empty Nest Academy, where you will learn how to transform your mind, your relationships, and your life. Come free yourself of regret and disappointment and be so much happier. Listen, sis, we've got one shot at this big, beautiful life. Let's make it amazing. Go to janecopier.com, that's JaneCopier.com, and sign up today. And if you're not sure what's right for you, book a free consultation with me and we'll talk it over together. And we'll make sure to get you on the path that serves you the best. See you inside.